Guess you better slow your Mustang down.
It's 24 to 1 with sustainability. Sally Williams, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Den. How are you?
I'm well, and guess what we discovered when we were wandering around Alquestro yesterday, and then we went to Pigeonhole Lookout here, just near Kununurra. Guess what we all noticed, Sally?
A recycling facility all set up nice and...
Absolutely no rubbish.
No rubbish?
None at any of the tourist spots, none by the roadside, anywhere. Clean as, and that made us all feel pretty good.
Oh, and why is that? Did you discover why? Was it just that the bins everywhere and separation happening? Or
no, I think it is more that people will, when they're up here, are just totally respectful of what's around them, and they just don't seem to be. There are a few old cars that haven't quite made the journey out in the heat, but other than that, there's certainly no paper by the roadside. There's no plastic bottles.
Fantastic. So it can be done. Doesn't matter where we are. We need to be respectful everywhere.
And you've got a guest with you.
Yes.
A winner.
Yes, a winner of the Premier Sustainability Awards. Julie McKay won these awards last week, and I was there as a guest on behalf of Sustainability Victoria, and it was such a great night, honestly. So Julie's with us to tell us all about Enable. It's a social enterprise. And Julie, welcome.
Thank you. It's absolutely fantastic to be here, Sally and Denis. It's a lovely day in Melbourne, and let's talk about sustainability, shall we?
Yeah, we should, and let's get listeners involved on 96900 693 or 13 13 32. Julie, I know a little bit about Enable. You're helping out disabled people?
Yes, we work with disadvantaged community out in Broadmeadows. So we Enable's a not-for-profit based social enterprise, and so what a social enterprise is that we trade commercially in the e-waste sector and the recycling sector to create social impact, and that social impact is to support in particular young people with disability with employability skills, and we also work with a justice program in Derrimut with the Department of Justice and Community Safety.
Why did it start out in around Broady?
Look, that was quite purposeful. Broadmeadows is an area of, quite high socio-economical disadvantage. Some suburbs in Broadmeadows are, more than 40-50% higher than the national unemployment average. So we located ourselves there to be accessible for local community in need. And there is a very eclectic and diverse needs out there. You've got language barriers, you've got migrant community, you've got, obviously people from, disadvantaged backgrounds by way of economic disadvantage, and you've also got young people with disability as well. So that's why we chose to be in Broadmeadows.
And what sort of work do they do?
Well, we do quite a lot, actually. So we do basically e-waste processing. We receive decommissioned technology from corporates and also local residents, banks, TAFEs, schools. Reese is one of our major customers as well. They do a lot of work with us. They've processed about 50-odd tonne. So the work that we do is to either recycle it if it's not working, if it's too old, or we put it through a reuse stream where we might do a little bit of repair
on it,
bit of refurb, and then pop it onto our eBay store, or we'll on-sell that to, through our wholesale stream to give people to access to technology in lower economic countries as well.
Yeah,
Nice to have a story like this, Sally, given what we've been hearing about all of the problems with waste around Victoria in recent times, which they appear to be getting on top of now. But great to see some of those things that come your way, Julie, being reused.
Absolutely, and look, that's one of our preferences is zero waste approach. That if we can get another use out of the equipment, we do our best to do that. Even little things that we do at the business level, they're not massive, but they make a difference. Things like broken pallets and wheels from very large printer trolleys and things, they go off to Department of Justice and they make furniture for them. So that repurposing and reuse, that's a bit of fun. We love that story. We also actually set aside, we've got some old retro Apple products, the old bubble back monitors and some old phones that we set aside, and local production companies rent those for their their shows. 5 bedrooms, rented some stuff recently from us, was for props. So that's another reuse strategy which we absolutely love. So as I said, you do what you can at the local level, and it's all creates some opportunities for people in need.
Yeah,
Actually,
which is
you might find things like the old. Sally, do you remember the gondola phones? Those ridiculous sort of a hump shape on them.
Sadly,
going back a little way.
Sadly, I do. Yes.
They didn't work, did they?
No.
That was quick. It was gone. Have you got one of them, Julie?
Look, I don't know about the hump phones. Like, the mental image coming to mind, I'm not too sure about that one. But
Google it.
Yeah, I'll Google it. Thank you very much.
But the good thing is, of course, that e-waste is now banned from landfill. So this is the most important thing here. We're finding another use for it. But the ban's really helped, hasn't it?
Yeah, look, I think that and I said this at the awards night as well, that, hats off to Victorian Government for their policy on banning e-waste to landfill from 1st of July. We, as an organisation, we anticipated that our business would grow significantly as a result of that. We did not expect how quickly it would do. So
yeah, well, looking at your figures before, we were discussing them, Denis, they've gone up a lot. Do you want to share some of your stats with everybody?
Yeah. Look, so we've, in total over the last, few years, we've processed over 160,000 kilograms of, assets coming from business and homes and thereof. And that in turn has resulted in some significant social impact outcomes. So those outcomes being, 760 young people that we've been able to work with, totalling 24,000 program hours for employability skills. That's been created directly from interacting with that processing of that decommissioned technology. The ones that we really like, the stats, our favourite stats is the employment hours. So we've created 7,000 hours of paid work made up of, casual and part-time roles.
And I imagine increasing the people who are doing
morale.
the work and learning things, increasing them, improving their morale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And the major thing for us is, as we're growing, is our participants who we spend a lot of time and energy training. When we get new business in and there's spurts of work, which we're having quite a few of those of late, that the people who we've worked with, they come back in as casuals. And that's really important because there's some current work on their CV that then they can use to, start applying for jobs, local jobs as well. So that's sort of the virtuous cycle that we're working on.
Yeah, but your passion, I mean, you're not funded at all.
No.
Are you? You don't get any government funding for this. So well done. Hats off to you for starting this.
Yes, thank you. Look, it's the service provider funded system, community services and employment service, disability services, etc. Some of those systems have been around for quite a long time. So what we do is we work with local community services and employment services, but we don't duplicate the work that they do because they're being funded to do certain things by government. Our main role is to really be that really supportive employment host that the guys can interact with, really understand what their barriers are. We understand their mojo. We understand that things are a little bit different. Their learning styles are different, and
But they can still learn.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no. We're mythbusters, as I say,
Yes.
many times. The perceptions that. Particularly young people with disability, well, they can't be safe because they can't learn as well. How are they going to go with OH&S? And that OH&S and work safe piece being a big, well-documented barrier to jobs for, in particular, young people with disability. We spend an immense amount of time doing OH&S training. And the guys would end up knowing more than most, to be quite honest, by the time that they've, spent with us.
Good work. Julie McKay is with us from Enable. Sally Williams with Sustainability and your calls. Welcome. Anything you want to know, you might have something that's been niggling away at you, 96900 693 or 13 13 32. Back shortly.
Whether it's a dodgy gas bill, getting answers from a spinning politician, or raising money for sick kids, you can rely on Neil Mitchell because he listens to you, cares about you, and fights for you. Neil Mitchell, weekday mornings, 3AW. Radio you can trust.
Life doesn't get much sweeter than staying at a 5-star hotel created by one of the world's most decadent ice cream brands. Got your attention? That's exactly what you can experience thanks to Luxury Escape. Escapes. It's the Mervynpik Resort and Spa. It's on Bali's much-loved Jimbaran Beach and voted Bali's leading family resort. There's not only a world-class rooftop bar, there's also high-end restaurants, but also an amazing pirate ship-styled kids club. But what really makes it famous is the buffet breakfast served with unlimited ice cream and the daily Mervynpik chocolate hour with treats prepared by in-house chocolatiers. It's all included in your stay, along with a daily choice of lunch or dinner, and one child, 11 or under, stays free. Free, with 4 hours daily access to the kids club, 2 hours of babysitting per day. Per stay, I should say, not per day. Treat yourself, 7 nights valued at over $5,000, but yours for just $1,799. Go to luxuryescapes.com or download the app. Luxury Escapes, the world's best holidays.
There are over 66,000 lawyers in Australia, and choosing one shouldn't be a game of chance. With Maurice Blackburn's help, over 40,000 Australians have won their case. And so can you. Call them today.
There's a new Ryman Healthcare Retirement Village being developed on Burwood Highway in Burwood East. And you're invited to attend an information presentation to hear all about the new Ryman Retirement Village. It will include independent and service departments, as well as low care, high care and specialist dementia care. Join Ryman Healthcare on Thursday, October 17 at 1:30pm at Burwood District Bowls Club. To find out more, phone Lena or Michelle on 8849 8799.
Hi, I'm David Beck.
Hi, I'm Alan Beck.
And
together, we're Beck's Bedding.
Give us a call and we'll handcraft a bed to fit your needs.
We'll deliver it to your door and take away your old bed too.
Beck's Bedding. Custom bedding delivered to you. Visit becksbedding.com.au.
Do you feel ready for retirement, the next third of your life? Half of us will end up retiring earlier than planned. Let Australian Super help you get ready. We've been voted Australia's most trusted super fund 7 years running. Trusted to help millions of members be ready for the next third. To start planning, search Australian Super Next Third today. It's Australian, it's super, and it's yours. Before deciding if Australian Super is right for you, read the PDS available at australiansuper.com. Reader's Digest Most Trusted Brand in Superannuation 2013 to 2019.
Wednesday nights from 9, join John Stanley and the experts from cameraelectronic.com.au for Snapshot. Learn about the latest in photography, get tips and tricks, and have a chance to win. Snapshot. Wednesdays from 9 on 3AW.
3AW Afternoons with Denis Walter for all over bins. Enter the promo code SPRING for $50 off.
It is 12 to 2. Sally Williams and Sustainability Today. Your calls on 96900 693. And with us, Julie McKay from Enable. Julie, a lot of what you're fixing and on selling, it would have just gone to rubbish, wouldn't it?
Look, potentially, it's not just about fixing and selling, but also too that, if you can break it down and things can be repurposed as well. So I've seen some great ideas coming out of PCs, for example, like you can use the RAM that can be made into jewellery because it's got the precious metals.
Yes, of course,
in the RAM, the gold in the RAM. And I know with the Japanese Olympics that they're taking a leadership role in that, and they're making, the from the precious metals and making their
own metals,
from that. So it's it's a very exciting time to be in the sector, and it's great for inventors and innovators because the sky's the limit with from waste to a resource and turning it into a commercial product. It really is a great opportunity for people to come in and and show off their wares.
Yes, and 50 million tonnes of e-waste was generated globally last year, Denis. 50 million tonnes.
Well, I've been thinking about that. This is all happening out in Broadmeadows. But Julie, do you ever sort of think about the rest of Melbourne and what's stuff that probably is being tossed?
Look, obviously
wasted.
the wasted.
Wasted.
The social impact for us is we need to be where we can make a difference. Waste is everywhere, and the way that we've structured our business model is that it is replicable, and we use the concept of the microsites. So having that program in Deribit, working with Department of Justice, that then expands our reach down to that region. There's no reason why we can't work in other areas in Melbourne using the concept of our microsites, which is strategically quite important to us. So anyone out there that's interested in partnering with a social enterprise in other areas of Melbourne, certainly give us a call and we'd love to have a chat.
It's a good story, Sally.
Isn't it fantastic? And it was such a buzz on the night. I mean, there were so many. Congratulations to all the finalists. Everyone that was shortlisted. The room, I think we had about, over 600 people in the room?
Yeah, it was quite significant. I found that out once I got up there on stage. I'm like, boy, that's a lot of people.
Oh, you spoke so well too. And Stephen Curry was our MC for the night, so he had us all laughing our heads off.
Yeah, great.
He was wonderful. Yeah, but the good thing is that this is growing. Each year, this award gets bigger and bigger. There's more categories. This time, for the first time, we had volunteers being nominated as well, so it's a new category. And volunteers are very important, aren't they, to you too, Julie? You know, you wouldn't survive without them.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we, as a not-for-profit, we've got a hybrid model. Yes, we do trade commercially, to create a social and environmental impact, but we have a volunteer board. They devote their time willingly and ably to drive.
To drive you.
Drive me, and
Yes.
they drive me very hard if you're listening, and also the strategic part of the business and the governance and keeping it, a nice tight ship, making sure with the compliance and checking that, boxes are ticked and everything. They're just absolutely terrific. I wouldn't be able to, have the success that we enjoy at Enable without that support from them.
So what
Sally,
Dennis, you go on. No, go on. You
I was
go.
just going to ask, we seem to be in Victoria to be doing some really good things. How do we compare to other states? Are other states as sort of active in this area as we are?
Oh, I don't really know the answer to that. I would hope that they are. We know South Australia is amazing. I think they're leaders as far as that's concerned.
And there are a couple of things that stand out to do with South Australia,
Yes.
straight up. But I think all states bar Victoria have taken on the
Container.
The container
Exchange.
deposit thing.
Yeah, I know. We're lagging on that one. I still haven't got to the answer, Dan. I know you've asked me, but we don't really know why at this stage. Yeah. Do you know, Julie?
Look, I don't know why, but what I would like to say is that once the Victoria moves forward, and I think it's only a matter of time, that social enterprise should be front and centre as part of that whole infrastructure. So there's a whole ecosystem that comes along with the container deposit scheme. My view is that then will create jobs, and we'd like to have a seat at the table and discuss how a scheme such as that could create some real employment opportunities for people that deserve a bit of a go.
Yes, there's another opportunity. Yeah, perfect.
Some of the youngsters, Julie, from the justice system, have they then been after sort of you perhaps giving them a little bit more confidence to tackle things? Have they been able to find employment?
Well, that's the stuff that we, over time, because we're still relatively small, and we would love to do some longitudinal studies on, the next steps and what happens after thereof. Maybe that might help with a little bit of funding from somewhere to help us with our research and development in that, employment pathways space. Nudge, nudge. I was going to get that pitch in. Of course, that was coming at some stage. Thanks, Denis.
You did it so subtly.
Thank you.
Lovely
Thank
segue.
you.
Norm, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Listen, I got the answer to why we can't get the 10 cents through the cans and the bottles, because I've been pushing for this issue for quite a while. It's a stubborn Victorian government won't pass through legislation, but you are to make it legal.
Sally Williams is with me with sustainability, and Julie McKay from Enable. Julie, do you need volunteers?
We could always do with volunteers. We have a regular stream of equipment that comes through that is what we call end of life, that needs to be put into what we call our graveyard for a respectful exit from the world. And there's always lots of opportunity to come in and work with us and volunteer. It's quite a vibrant, happy little place to be. So,
and where do people find you online?
Yeah, so we're at enableaustralia.org.au.
enableaustralia.org.au. Sally Williams, great to talk. See you in a couple of weeks.
Pleasure, will do.
And
Thanks,
Julie
Dan.
McKay from Enable, well done. Great work.
Thank you so much, Denis. Cheers.